What is going on, guys? It's Shu here, bringing you another review on Dandadan. Now, I gotta say, this episode was wild. That is probably the best description I can give for this episode. Truly and honestly, I can't think of any other way to describe this. From, I want to say, the beginning up until the last, I don't know, maybe the last 5 minutes of the episode was different, but everything else in between was just bonkers. Now, I'm probably a little exaggerated with what I'm saying, but I think that this is probably one of the better animated episodes we've gotten. It just felt good though. Like, I don't know. It was everywhere and anywhere, like, for me with this episode. But without further ado, guys, let's get to it. So, we start this episode with the dodging of notes and musicals and whatnot from Momo and Ira, or however you want to call them. We see that they are dodging to the best of their abilities, but we see, especially with Ira, like, she is very much, very, I don't know if it's because of Silky, but the way she moves is just very much different from the way OKARUN moves. Now, we know that how in the last episode we had Turbo Granny mentioning the difference in tempo and the way they fight between Silky and Evil Eye and the way OKARUN fights. It's very monotone. And so we kind of see that, this is, where the difference is between Ira and him. And we see that he's initially very slow. Like, he's kind of behind in terms of how to, like, catch up, and in terms of how to move things around differently. And Ira is only able to dodge. Like, let's be honest, she tries. Anytime she is able to try to make an attack, she's being kind of like repelled by the notes, and it just makes it even more difficult for her to even fight them. And it isn't until a note, which we saw that if it does hit them, it slows them down. And we see that when OKARUN gets hit, he actually, kind of like loses it for a little bit. And Turbo Granny, of course, gets hit as well. And they both slow down. This only leaves Ira to be the only one, and she tries. She really tries her best. And unfortunately, she gets stuck, and right where she's actually about to be taken out, we see that OKARUN kind of figures it out, and we see that he gets like this inspiration and saves her at the perfect time. And I gotta say, it's not my favorite ship. I like messing with it, but I definitely see some moments here for Ira like that were probably unforgettable. The fact that he came in to rescue her at the very moment that she needed it the most was perfect. I'll give him that. But honestly, very fun to see this, and like those two kind of having a moment and knocking down one of the guys was cool. But you think that there's gonna be maybe, that was gonna be it, and they were gonna take their time taking on the other guys. Well, it was chaos after that, because we see like these giant figures that are singing opera, and they look like Titans from Attack on Titan, and they're fighting them, and it's just a wild arrangement, and people coming out of their mouths, like, it was very trippy, very much trippy. And so, as they're both trying to fight, Ira stays behind. She's kind of like the sacrificial lamb. We see that OKARUN, thankfully, is able to figure it out. He then stops them, takes them all out, which is great. He knows he can only go basically at his top form and twice, and he does it. He's able to take them all out. And we find out, thanks to Turbo Granny, that these guys are actually the accumulation of fears that people had in this room. And if they were to play the music, then that's what kind of like sets them off. And thankfully, they get to deal with it very quickly on the second go. But then back home, we see that Tanjiro, or not Tanjiro, excuse me, homeboy with the eyebrows, I can't remember his name honestly right now. He actually is pushing for the Hayashi to return, but we see that Okarun says, I'll take him on. I'll beat this guy into submission. Let me do it. And so we see that Evil Eye and Okarun are about to go at it once again. So, very much a fun episode, a wild one, but the ending was the best. That's it for me, guys. Stay safe and catch you later.